Today we're talking about, and you'll never guess it this time, a Polaroid camera. This is the Polaroid Minute Maker, which, cute name, interesting style, feels like it's a children's toy. That's just, out of all the ones we've looked at, I think this thing is mostly or pretty much entirely plastic. The lens might be plastic as well. It feels like nothing. This is easily the most lightweight camera, vintage camera I've ever held. There's basically nothing to it as well. The viewfinder, sometimes viewfinders have things inside there to tell you like when the photo is going to be good or your distance, your focusing, give you things helpful to focus. This has nothing. This is very basic. It just opens up as well for you to insert your pack of film. That's basically it. That happens there. You've got a locking and unlocking knob here on the front, which I guess locks and you can't take a photo, or unlocks and you can take a photo. I don't think you're even able to see it doing that in there. As far as controls, a little bit of focus here, and it gives you how far your flash range should be, and one little option to lighten and darken it. That's pretty much it. Let's talk about what I was able to find about this. The Polaroid Minute Maker. They're a copyright from a print ad that I found, listed it from 1977. So as far as I know, that's the year it came out. That was also the same year that they discontinued the Land Series Billow style cameras that we've got a few in the collection now. Wikipedia lists these as folding cameras. This was under $25. That's what I was able to find. And it takes 3.25, so 3.25 by 4.25 rectangular or square instant pack film. As I said, I almost couldn't find nothing about this. The rest of the information that I found came from a comment that someone made. So that's almost the least credible way we could do it, except for just making things up. But if that's true, then we have a 114mm fixed lens with an f9.2 aperture. Shutter speeds ranged between 1/500th of a second and 1/10th of a second. And you could have two types of film that go in here, either 75 or 3000. As far as your sensitivity, there's a whole thing that I don't fully understand still, but I never bothered to look up directly, which was the difference between ISO and ASA, being the sensitivity of film compared to, I guess, the sensitivity of the sensor. Maybe that's just the difference. Anyway, a built-in flash cube socket would automatically rotate after each exposure. I suppose that does give a little bit of credibility to the comment that I found in the fact that the print ad, the vintage printed ad from 1977 that I found, was actually a comparison of 3 different Polaroid cameras at the time. And the Minute Maker specifically had a tagline, something like, "You wait all year for Christmas. Why should you wait more than a minute for your photos?" And apparently that's what the Minute Maker was known for, was you would have your photos printed and exposed within a minute, because you would just pull them out of the camera, which would connect the chemicals, or, pair the chemicals together that was in the film, something along those lines. We've looked at several that are like that. But as I was saying, the flash cube, I guess you would put a flash cube on here, which would just be a little square. I don't have any of them, but that would go on there. After each photo, it would rotate this. Mine might be broken. It no longer rotates. But not only did the comment mention that, but it did mention in the vintage ad a rotating flash cube. So that's cool. And, well, that's basically it. But bonus, let's look at something else real quick. This is also a Polaroid camera, as far as I can tell. The Polaroid MP-4 land camera. And when I start researching the MP-4 land camera, I found 1973 maybe? And I don't have pretty much anything else. I don't think I have all the pieces to this either. Looking online and looking at the manual, from what I can find, it's always referenced with other things. Like, this feels like a camera. This kind of makes sense, right? This opens up, it tells you about rollers. It's definitely that. And your film goes through here and then it would expose, but like, there's no lens to it. This is not, is this the shutter? I mean, does this open? This doesn't move. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. I'm a bit stumped with this one, so I'm hoping this is something I'll be able to come back to in the future. All the photos that I could find online, anything referencing it, and with the manual, like I mentioned, everything I could find shows it being part of lab equipment. So if there was a microscope, this would be attached to the microscope, and then it would have a lens as part of that. It would be part of something else, or, other types of lab equipment, things like that. So I don't know if this is just the body and the lens would be separate. Maybe this is where the film is exposed and I shouldn't actually be touching it. But I mean, it's over 50 years old. I don't think it's going to see much action anymore. I'm a bit stumped with it, but hey, this also came in our collection of Christmas Polaroids, and it definitely is a Polaroid camera. It says so right on there, but, as far as whether or not this camera is going to focus, come on. As far as whether or not there's any more information to be found about it, I'm sure that I'll be able to research it again in the future and hopefully find something, but as of right now, not so much. But that's it. We had 2 Polaroid cameras that we were able to look at. One of them very heavy, this thing weighs, I don't know, 4 or 5 times as much as this little plastic thing, all metal, little bits of that, fake leather. I assume it's fake. It's peeling off in different ways. But anyway, kind of a camera, as far as we understand it, not too much there, and definitely a camera, even if it was super cheap, and I was able to find very little about both of them. Still really cool, still going in the collection, but that is going to end our Polaroid saga. We had a very Polaroid heavy Christmas. Very happy about it. Again, thank you, Dad, for being able to send me all these cameras. It's really cool, but we're coming to an end with the Polaroids, and it's time to move on to something different. Next week and the following week, we'll have 2 different types of cameras that I swear are not made by Polaroid, I'm pretty sure. Unless it turns out that Polaroid owned other camera companies at some point later in time. Anyway, see you then. Figured it out.